What is up, guys? Clay back here again with another video. So this one's gonna be a bit more serious. I want to tell you a bit about like who I am and like what I was like growing up, being heavier, how I lost the weight, what I've been doing for the last few years, and what I've been doing today. So, and a little intro, my name's Clay Deneen. I'm 23, living in London, Ontario. Currently weighing about 185, something like that. At my heaviest, I was over 310 pounds. So I'll put up a little picture here. So I've lost that weight, I would say most of it in the beginning. The first year, I would say I lost like close to like 90, 100 pounds in the first year. And then after that, that's when it became more hard to really trim down, and I'm still working on like getting rid of the last little bit, but it will take time. So growing up, I'm from Mount Forest. That is a small town, population of about 5,000. We were never rich growing up, so the meals were just pretty basic. Eating like what we could, you know, going to McDonald's was a treat kind of thing. Like there wasn't many places to eat out, but still like the food that we did have at home wasn't like the healthiest. So I was like always a heavy kid. Like I'll put up a picture here, but I would say when I gained a lot of weight was in high school, when I was starting to make my own decisions and kind of like I could feed my own food addiction and kind of do whatever I want. You know, if I went like to high school, and then especially when I started driving, that's when I really put on more weight. Because then I can go, if I wanted a snack, I can drive into town, go get a snack. If I wanted an extra meal that night, it's like A&W was there, Subway was there, pizza places. But A&W was probably my number one thing, like a nice juicy burger. So yeah, I would say in high school, that's when I really hit my heaviest. So how I started going to the gym. That was when I was in grade 13. I was working at a restaurant at the time, and at this restaurant I could eat like whatever I want at this restaurant. We get like a meal to take home at night, so I was eating wings every night, wraps and burgers, and any fried food I want I could just have for my meal that night. So a coworker there was actually like, "Hey Clay, you should come to the gym with me sometime, like you might like it." Obviously like she didn't mean that as an insult, but like just figured like, hey, why not throw an invite. And one thing I want to touch on in this video is that even when I was heavy, like 310 pounds, I was never lazy. So if someone asked me to do something, I would do it no problem. When I was working in plumbing for a year, I was always on things, getting tools ready. Like jobs were like easy. I was always like ready to go. I was never lazy. So when she said like, "Hey, do you want to go to the gym?" I was like, "Yep, that's something new. Like I'm down." The next day I went like with a free pass, and we went to the gym. I had no idea what I was doing. All I saw was like treadmills and some weights, and there was cables. It's a small gym, but made it work. So I was like, wow, like we went at like 6 in the morning, and I remember thinking like, wow, this is kind of cool. Like I was never really like exposed to this. Like fitness class in high school was just like, oh, only the athletic people do that, and like obviously I was just some band kid, so that wasn't for me. So I was like, whatever. But the fact that I could do this outside of school and kind of like not have everyone stare at me and not be in a class and just kind of do my own thing, that was like super. That's probably what pulled me in, because I was like, wow, like I can do my own thing here, just roll with it. So then I got a membership and started going to the gym every day at 6 a.m. just because it was something to do. It was like new to me, so I was like, why not? Let's give it a shot. So then we started going, and I have a snap here from when I was there, and it says like just ran 2 minutes on the treadmill, and I was like dead. I remember I ran 2 minutes and I was like, holy. I remember sweat was just filling my t-shirt, and I was just exhausted, and I was like, okay, well, running's not for me. But that's when I started lifting. We would do like leg press and like lat pull downs, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I don't really know what I'm doing, but and then we would do like flat dumbbell press and stuff like that. And I was strong. I was always strong. Because my one buddy who would go with me, who also worked at the restaurant, he's like, wow, like you can move a lot of weight. So yeah, like pushing dumbbells were super easy, but like when you have a lot of weight, then it's easy to move a lot of weight just naturally. So then we started doing deadlifts and stuff. I was really good at deadlifts and had no idea. Actually, I'll throw up a video here of me doing a deadlift from back in the day. Yeah, didn't really know what I was doing that first little bit. But that was like when I hit my all-time highest weight, was when I was working out, because I was putting on muscle, but I was also eating like an absurd amount, because that's when I was kind of just like, oh, I'm going to college next year. I don't really know what I'm doing with my life, so I was just stress eating and had a bunch of free time from just working, and I was going to school just like part-time at that point. So I had a lot of free time, was going for breakfast almost every day. Yeah, so that's when I hit my heaviest, but I was also working out. So that's what I really want to point out, like diet is everything, because I was working out for 6 months and like I didn't really lose any weight. Maybe a little bit of fat, but for the most part I was just maintaining, if not still gaining weight, because I was just lifting heavy things, but also eating still like 5, 6, probably 7,000 calories a day. So diet is everything. And that brings us to 2016. That is when I moved to London to go to college here. And I just was like, oh, well, I worked out back home and now I enjoy it, so I might as well get a gym membership. So once I got the gym membership, it was about 1 kilometer away from where I lived at the time. And I was like, I didn't mind busing, but I was like, oh, it's not that far, I'll just walk. So my brother was actually going with me at the time. So we walked to the gym about 1 kilometer, maybe 1.2k, and then we go work out, and then we walk home. When we got home, that's when I realized, like, hey, we buy our own groceries now, let's not eat the entire house. And I think that clicked for me, like buying my own groceries and knowing what I was eating really affected me. And I didn't have a car at the time, so it was like any groceries I had to like physically bring on the bus or walk home with it. So that was huge. That's how my diet kind of got checked, is like I was always told like, oh, you need to eat healthy and you need to do this, you need to do that, all these like different diets, like everyone hears about them, but I was like, I don't know what to do, like what works best for me. And I was like, I've tried to lose weight before, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I was like, okay, well, I have to buy these groceries and I don't want to haul thousands of packs and stuff home all the time. So I would say buying my own groceries really fixed my diet. At the time I was also just eating whatever my brother was eating. I didn't know anything really about calories, or for sure not macros or hitting protein goals and stuff like that. I knew nothing about building muscle. I was just like, hey, I enjoyed going to the gym and I enjoy eating like whatever my brother was eating at the time. So it was just kind of like, it worked out. After a month of that, that's when I remember posting a picture on Instagram. I can put that one up here too. And people were like, wow, you're looking slim. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, I just go to the gym. I'm just doing exactly what I'm doing. But something was working for me. So I was like, okay, I'll keep this up. And that's when a friend told me about MyFitnessPal. That's when things really started hitting. I was starting to track my food, like macros weren't really a thing at the time, but I was tracking my calories. So through tracking calories, that's when I was like, okay, I'll eat around like 2,200, or I forget what I was eating at the time, something around there. And next thing I knew, like I would post another Instagram picture a few weeks later and people were like, wow, like I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. So I was like, okay. So that went on for a while. All I was doing was tracking calories and going to the gym. So we did that for about a year. That pretty well sums up like how I lost a bunch of my weight, like 90 pounds, just doing that. Like, yes, I just want to let you know, you don't need to track macros. You don't need to have some insane gym plan. You don't need to have like all these fancy gym equipment and all this that you see. You don't need no weightlifting belts. All you need is hard work and dedication. So I just want to let you know right now that if I can do it, like anyone can do it, because I didn't even know what I was doing at the time, but I just enjoyed it. So that brings us to about the last 3 years or so. After that first year of the initial weight loss, that's when I was just working on like going to the gym, doing my bodybuilding training, and that's when I started tracking calories and macros. So to basically get into this, I started tracking calories my first year, and then the second year, that's when I started focusing on protein. I was just like, okay, am I hitting my calories and am I hitting my protein? It's just a ladder effect. Like you start at the bottom with calories, then I would go calories and protein. Then you go macros like protein, fats, carbs. And then if you want to up it one more, go like fiber. And I would put sugar up there too. But that's pretty well where I am now. So also guys, in these last few years, I would say from 2017 to about the start of 2020, that is when I was just doing my bodybuilding training, tracking my macros at this point, and just kind of doing my own thing. And yeah, just enjoying, like I had no real fitness goal, like maybe I want to compete one day, that's always been in the back of my head, but I had no fitness goal. I was just like, oh, I enjoy working out, I enjoy tracking my food. But meanwhile guys, while this was all going on, that's when I struggled the worst with binge eating. Only a few people know about my binge eating and have seen it, like my brother and my close friends. Only they have really seen like how bad it gets. But I would just have days where I eat like 8, 9, 10,000 calories just because I was like so frustrated. I remember days where I was honestly like crying myself to sleep because I was like, this is not meant for me. Like I'm not fit. Like I'm not meant to be some fitness guy, or like maybe I'm not supposed to lose weight. I don't know what I'm doing. So those were some hard days, and I can tell you there was a ton of them. There would be days where I'm like, I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like posting on Instagram. I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like being in this community at all. I was just accepting that it wasn't for me. But every time that happened, I'd wake up the next morning and say, let's try again. Just get back on the horse. There was no like questioning it. It was like, yeah, I've had days where it's like 3, 4, 5 day benders where I'm just stuck there for a while. But one day I just wake up and it's like, no, I have to try. So guys, it comes back to the old quote, like you don't fail unless you quit. So that's one thing that has really helped me get over the binging. Like those were some of the hardest years, like some of the hardest days I've ever had were in those 3 years. But it's still a work in progress. Like I would say anyone who's really dealt with binge eating still probably has not the best relationship with food, but it's literally just, you have to work at it for years and years, and it will take some time. So guys, that happened for a little while. I'd say about 3 years of that. Like I would be training, try and diet, and try to lose this last little bit of weight, and then I would just binge on a Sunday. And I was like, okay, well, there goes my week. But then I wake up Monday morning, try again. And that went on and on. I would say like a weekly binge, or like I had a rough day at work. I was like, well, food makes me feel better. So I would go stress eat, go grab something after work, come home, eat it, just feel like shit. A couple hours later, it'd be like, oh, because I ate that, like fuck it. Might as well order this, or might as well go get this. Only a few people, especially in extreme weight loss, deal with that like fuck it mentality. I'll make a whole different video on that. But once you get that fuck it mentality, it's really hard to get out of that and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like it will take a long time to reset. But guys, that brings us to 2020. Everything was going good. I was like, okay, this January we start hitting our goals. Let's hit it. And I was dieting well. I would let myself have a cheat meal every Sunday night, and that was working for me for a while. And then obviously COVID hit, and I was like, wow, no gyms, no motivation. I was like, this isn't for me. We all thought it was a joke at first, like, oh, no gyms, okay, this will last like a month and then this pandemic will be over. So that first month I was just like, well, I have no gym, I have no equipment at home, how am I supposed to work out? So that's when I really just said, fuck it. We were ordering out like every night. I would go out for lunch at work every day because I was just like, I don't have no motivation to cook up chicken and broccoli and rice. It was not there at all. So I actually gained about 25 pounds at the start of COVID. So in May, when I moved to this place that I'm living now, that's when I was like, no, this has to stop. I don't care if this pandemic goes on, I have to feel better. I want to feel good in my own skin. I live downtown now, the trails are super close. I can do all the things I enjoy, walks and bikes and hikes and all that. My friend from work and I, we just set out to do hikes and something active all the time. We took up tennis, we did a bunch of biking, started doing runs, which I never even thought would be possible, and we lost that 25 pounds and then some. So now we've just kind of been chilling and lost another 10 pounds, bringing us to around like 185 or so. I'm in the best shape of my life right now, so can't really complain with that. So guys, going forward, what do I want? I want to get pretty lean. I wouldn't say stage lean, like bodybuilding competition lean, but I want to get really lean and then hit a bulk in the winter and then jump on prep and possibly compete next year, 2022. I don't know if COVID's going to put a damper on that. I think it will, because there's no gyms here, but my little home gym is going to have to do for now. And I can't let myself slip into the same trap I did back in 2020. So guys, also going forward, there's a lot of things I haven't done in the fitness community. Like I haven't tried CrossFit, which is actually on the list of things to do this year. I have a friend who goes to a box here in London, and I think CrossFit would be really fun. Probably show me how out of shape I am, but I think I'd really enjoy the hustle and the struggle of it. Mind you, I do want to continue my bodybuilding training on the side and only do CrossFit like a little bit. I also want to get into running more. I want to be able to run like 10K, no problem. And yeah, I would say I just want to become overall like more fit. Like I want to be able to be like, oh yeah, like you want to go for a run? Let's go. You want to go for a 5-6 hour hike? I can go. These are things like I didn't even think would be possible. I never ever thought like I'd be able to do half the things I can do now. I remember when I started going to the gym, like a pull-up, like that was impossible. I couldn't even hold myself up. There's no way I would be able to grip the bar and hold my weight. But yeah, guys, I'll go more in depth on certain points of my weight loss journey, but I just kind of wanted to give a rough summary here. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because that always helps me out. But to leave you guys on a final point here, I just want to let you know, like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. When I started out, I was like not experienced. I didn't know what I was doing, but these are just things you pick up along the way. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If there's a certain aspect or part of my weight loss journey or anything you want to know, if you want me to go into more detail about the binging or me starting out at the gym or my home life, like please just let me know, because I'll gladly tell you guys, and I can tell you every success story and every struggle. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it if you made it this far. Hope you enjoyed my little story time here. I really appreciate you guys staying up with my journey and knowing a little bit more about me and where I come from. So we'll see you guys in the next one.